So planning topics is one thing, but the other side of that coin is planning the guests that you're going to be bringing onto the show. So for that, I wanted to share with you a simple framework that, based on your goal, you could pretty much use to determine what kind of guests you should be bringing onto your show. So let's take a look at it. So based on your show goal, you have here brand awareness or business development. Let's start with brand awareness. You want to ask, do you have a relationship? Or rather, how strong is your relationship with the guest that you're thinking of bringing on board? You can almost think of it as like a score from like 1 to 5. And by the way, we do have a show strategy sheet, which we're going to share with you in a future module. So just keep listening. You're going to get the show strategy sheet in one of the future modules, which gives you a way to actually operationalize some of this stuff. The next thing is, do they have 500 plus contacts on LinkedIn? This is just a proxy for, do they have a big enough network? Of course, we don't exactly mean 500 plus. Maybe it could be 300, 400. Maybe for you, the bar is much different. Maybe you're looking for people who have at least 10K followers. But the idea here is you need to determine a number of network size that this guest has before strongly considering to bring them onto the show. If you're starting from scratch, we recommend the 500 plus mark. The next thing is domain knowledge. Is this guest going to add value to your end audience? Specifically, if you're following a brand awareness goal, this is something that's going to be very, very important for you. Finally, the other thing is audience relevance. How relevant is their audience to what you are doing? If they share that content on, if they share the episodes and the clips on, is it going to get picked up by people who might be interested in your brand as well? So you really need to think 3, 4, 5, 6 steps ahead whenever you bring a guest on board. And by the way, whenever we think of guests, we're not just thinking of, obviously guests are individuals, but don't just think of like individual thought leaders. Think about individuals who also work at companies that you could potentially collaborate with for co-marketing opportunities, or maybe they sell something that is complementary to what you sell. There's a lot of great opportunities that can happen there, specifically once you both start sharing the content together, and we're going to be talking a lot more about that. So basically, the degree to which all these guys or all these items are correct and true, you prioritize guests, and the degree to which they are not, you deprioritize. Pretty similar on business development, except that over here, rather than the network size, you just want to determine, is this one of my key accounts, right, as a company? And am I actually bringing on someone who is a decision maker? And again, is their audience relevant? Because with the show, this is not, you're building a podcast show, you're not building a mousetrap. And so the goal is not to get every guest to become a customer, as it were, but rather to build a relationship with them and to make sure that the effort you invest in this show is relevant for others. Make sure that the guest that you bring on board also has a relevant network, so that if you don't find an opportunity with them directly, you're basically creating more opportunities for yourself from their larger network, as it were. And of course, the relationship part is very, very important. Should have said that at the beginning. But as mentioned, the degree to which these conditions are true, you prioritize. The degree to which they are not true, you deprioritize. And once again, with the show strategy sheet, which you are going to be getting shortly, this is all going to be laid out for you so that you can operationalize this and share it with your team.